Today I'm starting a new segment on my channel, giving design advice to my subscribers, whether it be a review of their space, maybe some advice on styling a vignette or a DIY project. This is going to be a fun one, so let's get started. My name is Jorge if you're new, and I love all things home decor, including giving design advice. I think this is going to be a really fun way to kind of give my input on subscribers. I get a lot of messages, questions of whether I do design consultations and all that. Not right now. If you would like to be featured in one of these videos, if you would like a chance to be featured in these videos, I'm going to put a link down below where I give you all the details on how you can submit for one of these, okay? Review number one, we're gonna start off with Nellie. Now, Nellie writes, my name is Nellie. I just purchased and moved into this house and would love to hear what you think about the dining/living space. I think I went too far with the minimal modern look. I would love to hear your thoughts on how to spruce it up. Thank you so much, and I hope to hear from you. So, taking a look here into the living room. We have this going on right here. Beautiful, okay, love it. Okay, we have this back wall. All right, moving into the dining space. This is an open floor plan. It looks like it's a little bit of a smaller space. Let's just get into the living room. So I do have to say, I think Nellie is a photographer, and I believe these are some of her photographs. These are really beautiful, by the way. So I can see that you're starting to kind of build a gallery wall above your sofa here. First thought I would say is maybe the shelves are maybe a little bit too high. I feel like they could be a little bit lower. Maybe bringing everything down about 6 inches or so. I think it's just pushing it up to the ceiling a little bit much, and it can start to make the space feel smaller. Another option maybe would be to just do one shelf. Bring it a little bit lower, but do one shelf and kind of layer in some photographs. But regardless of what direction, and by the way, these are just my opinions, you know, take what you want to take from this. You mentioned that you're looking for a way to kind of spruce it up. You think you went a little bit too modern, minimal for your design style. I think you've pretty much set up a really great foundation for layering the things that you want to layer. Basically, we have our neutrals here, right? We have a beautiful rug, sofa. Those two ottoman chairs are very beautiful. The wood is a little bit red. I think might be the lighting, not sure. We have the accent chair and that gorgeous coffee table. Now that you have done that, and I can see that you're trying to bring in some color with that wall art over there on the left. We'll get to it in a minute. But since you are a photographer, I think this is where you can start to bring in your personality, make this more dynamic. So you're already doing that with your photographs. Maybe bring in a little bit color into your space. This is what I love about neutral spaces. You can bring in color. You can transition color as you want, add textiles, the different patterns. You have that foundation to do that. So maybe with one of your photographs, or maybe you can do a art print. Maybe you can bring in color with that, maybe pull some of the red from that other painting into the room, introduce a new color. Different color strategies out there. You can stick to like the primary, red, yellow, blue, and it doesn't need to be bold. It could be muted tones of that. That throw blanket, you can bring in a little bit of color. I really like this one right here. I think it's from Pottery Barn. And by the way, I'm going to link everything that I can in the description below for you all, in case you like any of the things I talked about. The coffee table, I like keeping coffee tables simple. You're doing great right here. I'm loving that bowl. You have a candle. Maybe this is a good opportunity to bring in more color or something more interesting. Layer in a coffee table book, just a large book, maybe a red book that plays off of that painting over on the left. It's time for a snack break, and I'm eating Magic Spoons, the healthy cereal that tastes too good to be true. I don't know about you, but I used to love eating cereal growing up. I kind of moved away from it as I realized how much sugar and junk was in it, but luckily Magic Spoon has us covered. Magic Spoons has lots of great flavors. I know that they have some cocoa, they got fruity. We also got some peanut butter. Ooh, peanut butter really good as well. and frosted. I think my favorite one is probably the fruity. I can eat this for days. I eat this when I'm like editing my videos late nights. Such a great snack. And you don't have to feel guilty about eating this cereal. This is actually healthy. Magic Spoon cereal have 0 grams of sugar, 13.4 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. And they're only 140 calories per serving. They're also keto friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low in carbs. Ooh, and I have a deal for you. Be sure to click the link below and grab a variety pack so you can try it today. And be sure to use the promo code CASAREFINED at checkout to get $5 off your order, or head over to magicspoon.com/CasaRefined. Again, get $5 off your first order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it is backed with 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they will refund your money, no questions asked. So click on the link below and enter promo code CasaRefined to get $5 off your first order, or go to magicspoon.com/CasaRefined. And thanks again to Magic Spoon for partnering in today's video. I'm seeing this floor lamp. I like this floor lamp. It's very modern and very minimal. Maybe an upgrade that you can do in the future. And I really like the way that these provide light. It's very, like, the ambient light reflecting off of the ceiling, but maybe you can upgrade this lamp in the future. Just take your time and maybe you can find something vintage, bringing in something that has a vintage element into everything else that might be a little bit new and modern. Something like this is a good example. I found a couple of good ones on All Modern if you're looking for something new. I'll link these below. It seems a little bit tight back there, so we want to make sure it's not too big. The curtains work well for the room as well. Maybe in the future you can upgrade and do pleated curtains. That's maybe something to consider, but I think for now these look great. Moving into the dining room. I'm loving this dining room. It's a little bit smaller, of course, and I think you're doing a good job with the layout. Works well. Now let's talk about that painting. That painting is amazing. Did you do that yourself, or did you buy it from an artist? It's incredible. I like it as is. Definitely hang it up right there on the wall. I do want to say with this back wall though, my first thought was to maybe put like a sideboard, a credenza or something up in the back wall. Something minimal, kind of maybe perhaps white or the same color as your wall. But after looking at it closely, I think it might be a tight fit. So I don't know if sideboard is the best fit. Maybe a console table. I don't know. I personally think I would kind of play off of the simplicity and bring in an architectural element, a pedestal. Yes, I know I love my pedestals. Something like this is a good way, because if you look at the bottom there, there's a lot of legs going on. Naturally, we have the dining room table with the legs, and they're slim in profile. And then we have sort of the accent, a side table right there, and then the accent chair. Put a pedestal in there. It gives you something more voluminous. It could be white. It could be like maybe cement. Introduce something a little bit cool tones. I found these on CB2, Pottery Barn. I think I have a blog post where I share different pedestals. I will be also doing, if you're DIY savvy, I'm going to be doing a DIY pedestal video soon. Moving into the living room, just a couple notes on the television. Now televisions, this right here, I think is a good layout. I would say that the television might be a little bit high. I don't know, maybe it's too much trouble to bring it downwards and have to patch up holes and all that. If you leave it as is, that's fine. A general rule of thumb though, I would say, is when you are hanging televisions with like a console or a media unit, you want to do 55 inches to 65 inches to the center of the TV from the bottom of the ground. I think this is a good elevation, especially when we're like sitting on the sofa looking at televisions, but that's not like a hard rule. I would say it's kind of just something to consider. Let's address the cable. Now, of course, we have cables that go down the television, especially if you don't have the hard wiring electrical on the walls for that. I would say definitely use a cable concealer. You can get these on Amazon pretty affordably, and you run your cables down there. When you're mounting it onto the wall though, don't put it down the center of the TV. Put it off to the side, whether it be the left side or the right side. In this case, I might do the right side, and you can kind of use the beautiful vase and branches right there to kind of hide it in a way. Overall, I think this space is working really well. You have some good flow right here. The material selections, the colors, very calming and inviting. So just a couple of tweaks here and there, I think it can help, you know, finish it off for you. Next up, we have Robert, and Robert writes, here's a picture of a piece of vintage artwork that I found in a shop for a grand total of $750 Canadian dollars. My question is, do I leave it in the frame I found it in or reframe it in a more modern frame, for example, black or wood? I would say my condo is a mix of contemporary, traditional, / vintage in white. All of my doors are painted black, walls are white, gray, and wood tones with pops of color. Vintage pieces that I either inherited or collected. I want to hang this piece as part of a gallery wall, and I want to create a mix of other modern with vintage pieces. Thanks for your help. So I think this is a beautiful art piece. I wonder if it's original. I'm seeing at the bottom some information on it. Maybe it's a print, I don't know. I personally really liking this frame. It kind of has this nice vintage look to it. I don't know how old it is, but yeah, definitely keep it. I'm curious. This is the only photo that Robert submitted, so I'm not sure what his space looks like, but just giving you some ideas here for some gallery walls. You can do a lot with a gallery wall. I know, of course, there's different styles. You can lean maybe more on the vintage side or bring in elements of modern artwork as well. Here are a couple of spaces that I think do a good job of doing that. Oh, now here's a quick tip for you. There's different ways to create a gallery wall. One way could be the horizontal rule. I don't know if this is a thing or not, maybe it's just me making it up, but you can establish kind of a horizontal rule. That horizontal line is going to be pretty much at eye level of when you're standing. And you know, when you're hanging artwork, you want it to be kind of at eye level. I don't remember the exact height. On that horizontal line, you're going to place your artwork above and below that horizontal line. Not necessarily in a grid pattern, although you could, but kind of more organic, I would say. I hope this illustration shows better than I'm explaining. All right, on the board we have an entryway. This entryway was submitted by Varada. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Now she writes, it is a closed entryway with no natural light available. Wall colors are light blue, sea green. I'm putting in 2 IKEA Hems shoe cabinets together with a solid pine wood board on top. Question number 1 is, what color should I go with? Original IKEA cabinets with the pecan slightly darker wood tone, or paint the cabinet in a light beige or some sort of other color of your suggestion, or go with a matte black and a light wood top. Question number 2 is, I'm considering adding wood dowel decoration to it. Would it look better with or without it? Something similar to this. Could be it could be painted or in a natural color. What do you think? Okay, first thoughts is, so we have this entryway right here. It's a little bit narrow, so I do love that you're using this cabinet solution from IKEA to kind of maximize the space and make it more functional for you. Now, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of like cherry wood flooring, but I know this, maybe you like it or that's just a rental, I'm not sure. Either way, we're gonna work with it and we're gonna kind of find a way to neutralize it a bit, because I feel like with the, especially since you're not getting natural light in that area, the lighting overhead is kind of making it maybe more red. Maybe it's the photo too, not sure, but my suggestion is, so you mentioned if you should add the dowels or not to the cabinet. I personally would not. I feel like it might be a little bit too much for that space. It might be a little overwhelming. So I would just keep it simple in this case. I know that IKEA sells other colors. I really like the dark one. I think for this space, since you have this like bluish wall and then we have like the red flooring, I love it. You know, you have color, but we got to find a way to kind of neutralize it a bit. One way to neutralize, I would say, reddish wood tones is with black. So in this case, I personally, I don't know, maybe you already, I don't know if you finished building the cabinets, but maybe you can return them and get the dark/black wood if possible. If not, that's fine. Maybe you can paint them black, and then with the top cabinet piece, I would potentially stain it black so you can still see the wood grain, or maybe you can do light and see if that looks good and just stain over it if you don't like it. Now, Varada has this runner right here from a Ruggable, so you can toss it in the washer. Excellent. Now, you also mentioned, I don't know if I read this, but you mentioned that you want to do a joint compound wall art. I don't know if you're referring to like this one that I did recently or another one that I have done in the past. Whatever direction you go in, you know, have fun with it, make it unique, or you can do this. I would say incorporate white into that artwork. You want to kind of play off of the white baseboards and again neutralize the space a little bit. I would also layer in maybe some vintage artwork or something that is not new to bring in kind of more interest to this space. Bringing in a bowl, especially like an acacia style wood. I found this beautiful one on Target. This one, as you can see, has some variation in the wood tones, but Ella also said she would like to use maybe a Target lamp as an accent light. Yes, I think that's a great way. Definitely add some lighting in there. I think that makes it a little bit more cozy and inviting. I found this Target lamp. This is by the McGee collection. Maybe it's a little bit higher in price for a Target lamp. I like the brass tone. I'm loving the simple white shades. Now notice since this space is not so wide, it's kind of on the narrow side. We don't want something that's so voluminous with a lamp. Something like this, more sculptural, more elegant, a little bit more unique, would do that for you. I highly recommend also putting some florals in your entryway. I used to do this in my previous apartment. I'd put some fresh eucalyptus from Trader Joe's, and you know, that scent kind of greets you. I found this one on A Floral. You can find some good dried florals, faux florals there. I'll link these below for you. On the other side of the wall, I'm noticing that you have a place to kind of put your keys and such. Maybe that wall right here is a good opportunity to put a mirror. Maybe you can do something like this. This one is from IKEA, pretty affordable. I know it sells out fast, but maybe keep your eyes out for that. Or maybe look for a different style, but definitely a mirror on that wall so you can check yourself out as you go. You could also do like a vintage stool or a basket in that area. Maybe not, it might be too crammed and just scrap that out completely. But here's a little vignette to kind of show you what your space could look like. Hopefully give you an idea of how you can start to balance things out and put things together. But that's what I would do. So I hope that helps. Next up we have Nguyen. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Nguyen. Now she writes, could you please provide me some advice on my living room and kitchen? I like black, white, brass, and natural wood colors, but my house colors are a little messed up. The island and the living room cabinet do not have any stain colors yet. They just have lacquer. Could you please give me some advice on what colors to paint or stain the wood? Now personally, I'm loving the color palette that you have in your space. Now the island and those cabinets, maybe they might lean a little too warm for your liking. Since this is a newer space and it's freshly renovated, I maybe would advise against painting the cabinets quite yet. I would try to stick to the wood as long as you can. As you said, they are lacquer. It's going to be some work removing that, stripping it down. I don't know if you plan to do it yourself or hire out. A couple of directions that you can go with this. Number one, here's some inspiration photos. You can go with like a medium wood tone. I'm seeing this a lot right now. It's a great way to kind of balance or mix different wood tones within this. This one by Studio McGee is on the darker wood tone. It's not black, but it's kind of like almost ebony, I would say. Now, if you want to paint, you can definitely do that as well, but if you're gonna paint, I would do a dark color to bring in contrast to the space, make it more dynamic. Of course, you can do like black, but then there are also muted colors like muted green, something of a muted blue that could potentially work as well. I did a quick mock-up just to show you, and it doesn't have to be this specific color, but just to give you a visual of what would happen to these different scenarios. So of course we have here the original. Next, if you wanted to stick to the light wood, strip it down, you can apply, there's a couple of products out there, I can't really think of any right now, but you can definitely lighten the wood. Next, if you do something like of a medium wood tone, this is what that would look like. I really love this. It might be my favorite. And then this is what would happen if you went with like black. Maybe you can do black stain or paint, preferably stain so you can still see the wood tones, the wood grain. We want to see this in the living room. This is what it would look like. Lighter wood tone. Then we have the medium wood tone. You could do the medium mantle as well. I would keep the mantle as is and kind of have it coordinate with the flooring. And then this is what it would look like if they were black. So, I mean, this is going to be totally up to you. Definitely, I hope I gave you some ideas here. All right, do we have time for another one? let's do one more. This space is submitted by Nora. I got this desk from IKEA and I love it, but I'm not sure how to decorate the desk space. I've got some decor on it, but I don't really like it. I know I want more storage since there's just one drawer. For the decor, I lean towards Persian style, more minimalist design aesthetic. My room color palette is black, white, beige, and some dark brown. Okay, now you mentioned that you are kind of into the Persian style, so that's definitely something you should do. Take a browse on Pinterest, enter keywords like Persian, home office, desk, or Persian, home office, modern. And I know that you bought this desk. It seems maybe, and I love IKEA, but maybe for a desk, this is where you can bring in something more interesting, more unique, whether it be sort of a vintage desk that you find online or something that leans a little bit more mid-century or Persian. Adjacent to your desk, I'm seeing this, I guess, bar cabinet that you're using to store some books, maybe a record player, I can't really tell. Add some height to that area of your workstation. Add some height and storage while you're at it with a tall cabinet. Now here's a little mood board that I put together just to give you an idea. So this is kind of a desk that I found. I can't remember the website, but I'll link it below. Next to it, you can have that tall cabinet, whether it be white or it be like a black / dark brown as pictured. That, of course, will give you more storage for your books and other decorative accents. Now, if you have your record player, you can put it on your desk. Or if you don't want a tall cabinet, maybe you can do another cabinet such as this and put your record, maybe you can put two side by side. But I would prefer the taller cabinet because it gives you some height, gives you more storage. For the wall, of course, definitely frame up your artwork, maybe like a gold frame. Loving that lamp, keep that lamp. For a home office space, rugs can be kind of tricky, especially with the wheels of the chair. But if you're gonna do a rug, which I think it could be a good option here, maybe do something with low pile or of a thinner rug. I found this one on Rugs USA. It's a wool striped area rug and it's actually pretty thin. You can just keep it neutral, what have you, but hopefully this gives you an idea of how you can make your workstation a little bit more dynamic. I don't know what the rest of the space looks like, so maybe you're just confined to the wall, but you can also put your desk kind of more towards the center of the room rather than not facing the wall. Either way, I think this could be a good approach. Let me know your thoughts. All right, I think that's all the time we have for today. I feel like I just spoke at a million miles per hour. I hope that this helps you to some extent. Again, these are just my ideas, maybe some approach that I would take. Definitely take what you can from this. If you want to submit your own, if you have a question or would like your space to be reviewed, go ahead and submit it. Again, I'll put the link down in the description. It gives you all the instructions to do so. But yeah, thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.